We are at the Bistro 1640, which is the restaurant of l'Auberge du Trésor. L'Auberge du Trésor is located on the Rue Sainte-Anne in the center of the old Quebec City, on the corner of the Rue du Trésor and right in front of the Château Frontenac. I think that you have the best view here from the Château Frontenac. The restaurant is great. There's an incredible history about the building. And to tell you more about this great history, I'm meeting the owner, Mr. Xidus, that I know it.
Yes.
That's your last name?
Yorgo.
Yorgo Xidus.
Right.
I guess
Greek.
you're Greek.
Yes.
I'm
Well,
not
it's
guessing
not obvious,
right.
but yes, you are. We're Greek.
Tell me, there's a great history here, of course, about the building. It started in 1640, like the name of the restaurant. But first of all, there's a great history about your family, because it's a family affair.
Yes, we are here since we've been here since the 1980s actually, and but the building itself is much older and much more ancient than that. It actually dates from the beginnings of Nouvelle-France, New France in
Yes.
America. And so that's why we chose that name, like you said, 1640. Some people think, is it the address or no? It's really
Could be, yeah.
because they don't think that it could be the date of
That old?
that old, but it actually is. And so in 1640, the first building was built here. It was at first a wood building, and its purpose was it was the Maison des Sans Associés, which is the ancestor of today's Hudson Bay Company.
Yeah.
And that company was granted monopoly by the king for all fur trade, and all the money was transiting through it, and it was basically collecting taxes, the treasury.
The entire trades of the Nouvelle-France
Yes.
were happening here.
Exactly.
In the
It was
building.
going through here, and the treasury was collected here. This is why we're on the corner of Rue Sainte-Anne, like you said, and Rue du Trésor. The Trésor, the treasury part, that's what it means, actually. And so at first, that was that building, the vocation of the building. And then in the 1700s, they started to rebuild more of it. And there's actually the king's surveyor, personal surveyor, Jean Le Rouge, which was here in the beginning of the 1700s, who built stone walls that we still have that are exposed in our dining rooms.
You had a quality builder.
Yes.
You're very picky.
I
You
assume
get the
that-
king's builder.
well, it's still there after all these years,
Yes.
so it must be quality. And so we have them also in the basement, certain structures that are there that are very old, and that you can see if you come. And from the 1700s onwards, it was separated into 3 houses where we had many generations, different families that stayed here. And it actually burned, I think, in the late 1700s, was rebuilt, but it was always preserved, its character.
Yeah.
For example, we have like engravings of this place dating from the 1700s, where you can actually see it's the same. The roof, the chimneys, it hasn't changed, the outside. It was really preserved. So we always felt that it was important to sort of keep in touch with that when we do anything. And so...
When did it start to be a restaurant or an hotel?
Yeah, it was the beginning of the 1900s. And it was bought by a Greek restaurant owner, and like ourselves.
Yes,
And it
so
was
there was something with the Greeks in the building
Yeah,
there?
yeah, for 100 years it's
Wow.
been. And
I told you there was a great history here.
And it actually became a famous restaurant in the beginning of the 1900s. It was called the Old Homestead. And many people still know that today that are here because they know it by name because it was famous. And
What happened here? What kind of restaurant was it?
I think it was mostly French, yeah, but I wasn't there. But
Really?
I'm sure menus were like, yeah, but it was like duck and things like that, and filet mignon. And so we wanted to preserve that and keep that link with that. So when we renovated in 2009, sorry, we wanted to have a 1920s ambiance and sort of vibe
Atmosphere,
to it.
and
to
even
try
the
and relate-
looks.
Yes, everything to try to relate with that period. And so that was done in 2009, but we acquired it in 1980.
Yeah.
And up to 2009, it was really operated. There was like 3 parts to this business. There's the one that most people know, which is the terrace outside, which is the nicest spot in Quebec, really, because
One of the greatest.
Yeah.
Huh? Let's say it.
yes, because we have the sun all day long, and we have the view on the chateau, Frontenac. And so everybody knows the terrace, but we also have inside 2 restaurants that had been operated until then, which were the Relais de la Place d'Armes, on this where we are right now.
Okay.
Which was...
Yeah, it's true, because there are different sections
Yeah,
in this
there's
restaurant.
4 different rooms. It's very, very big. And this one was more of a continental, pasta, sandwiches. And on the other side, we had more of a high-end classical French cuisine, where the masterpiece really was the Wellington beef. It was brought to the table on the guéridon. It was very nice. And the other part was called Auberge du Trésor and was related to the rooms that we have upstairs. And in 2008, we had some decisions to make, and we were renovating. And there's a booming business for receptions, and group receptions, and we are particularly...
This is the perfect location for reception.
It's location, and we also have the infrastructure, and not a lot of people have because of our size, we have the infrastructure to be able to do receptions, big receptions, and also cater to local customers. So we decided to do two we have rooms for receptions, but we did not want to lose the high-end Auberge du Trésor and our knowledge we had there. So what we did is the Relais de la Place d'Armes was transformed into 1640 Bistro 1640, and we sort of infused the knowledge we had on the auberge in it in order to create a bistro, but I would say a high-end bistro.
Yeah. Tell me about the decoration, because you had a huge challenge. It was to preserve what was here since.
Yeah. The goal is...
Since when? I mean, the walls that I'm seeing.
Yeah, the walls...
They're the original
some
walls.
Some of them. The first ones that were built on the other side was, like I said, beginning of 1700s. And after that, some others were created after.
So to renovate with that, it must have been such a challenge.
Well, you have to try and keep them, but at the same time, because you're renovating, you want it to be new, so you have to mix the two.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge, really, of doing it. So you have to surround yourself with good people, and I think they did a good job.
Did you do a lot of research about the history of the building? Because of course we know some part of the history, but I'm sure that there are some other secrets. A lot of things must have happened here in the walls.
Yes, we had hired a lot of people for that. When we're faced with this building, with this history, of course we've hired people, and there's also all sorts of things that happened there. And one of them, actually, in the end of the 1980s, there was a big attention in the media because they were looking for Samuel de Champlain's tomb, which is the founder of Quebec. And there's a lost chapel story where they're trying to find it, and according to different plans. And
it could have been here?
Well, many archaeologists think that it is here. And one of them was René Lévesque. And it created a lot of attention. They digged downstairs. They tried to find it. They did not find it, but there's still the possibility, that it could be here. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that have happened historically.
We have to talk about the touristic aspect of the place. Okay, you are really in the center of the old town. Everything is touristic around here. Yeah. How do you manage to be a touristic restaurant? Yes, of course, but also a great restaurant for locals, because that's what you are as well. Yes. How do you manage that?
I think in 2013 in Quebec, I don't think many people have the choice to be just touristic, We of course we have tourists because of our location in the summer.
Yes.
But that's really not our. If you look at our pricing, if you look at our structure, what we have in the plates, the culinary, and all of that, it's really not geared towards the tourism. And we have a lot of comments, for example, on sites or TripAdvisor, and we like to read them because a lot of people say, "Oh, we thought it would be touristic, and we were pleasantly surprised."
We thought it would be touristic. Yeah, exactly. That's the first thought we have here.
Because to us, we have a lot of different customers, and the nationality of them really is not that important to us. What is important is to serve each customer the same way and to serve quality. And I think we can do that because we have the infrastructure and we are able to cater to all these people. So we want more people to discover it, and local people also too.
Well, you're doing it very well. Thank you very much for the interview, Mr. Xidus.
You're welcome.